right, so there's no doubt about it. Sellers are going to continue to dominate the real estate space for 2022. Now, the more and more research I'm doing and watching what's happening in the market, I'm actually noticing some trends that are likely going to continue through 2022. So I'm going to give you a couple trends to watch out for, especially if you're buying your own personal home, or even if you're looking to buy rentals like I am. I want to take notice of the things that are happening in the economy, like interest rates, like volume of listed properties on the market, just overall buyer viability, right? The reality is we have interest rates going up, rents going up, income going up for individuals with a job. I mean, everything's going up. So let me talk about a couple trends that I see that are gonna continue all the way through 2022. So let's start with the obvious. Home prices are gonna go up. Now for some, you might not think that is obvious because you swear that something has to change, it just has to. Well, the reality is all the factors are lining up to say home prices are gonna go up. The builders can't build fast enough. The builders can't get enough materials to build fast enough. The builders are building to rent. There's just a lot of factors with new home builds that are gonna continue to make more inventory not a thing in 2022. Now, you also have homeowners who are trying to sell, but realize if they sell, what are they gonna buy? Because they're still low inventory. I have plenty of friends right now that are wanting to take advantage of this incredibly insane market, but quite literally have told me, well, if I sell, I actually would have to go buy something or even rent something, and the prices are crazy. There's just nothing to buy, and then if I consider renting, I'm literally spending $6,000, $7,000, $8,000, $9,000, $10,000 a month on a property that I would want to rent. So you have people who aren't even listing their property even though they want to, because there's quite literally nothing for them to buy. And you also have rents going up, which is making it even more difficult for people who do sell to find a place even to rent. And lastly, just is this segment, you have income raising. According to Realtor.com, they think somewhere between 3 to 4% will be growth in income in 2022. So let's talk about the trend of inventory. There's currently just about 50 days nationally is the median list price according to Realtor.com, and so that just means there's like less than a whole winter's worth or summer's worth of inventory. Nationally, that means there's not even 3 months worth of inventory, and that just is a huge seller's market. So here's the things that I think are gonna happen right now. I think people are gonna force themselves to take advantage of what they consider to still be low interest rates. They're gonna force themselves to buy a home that they may or may not be able to afford. And then they're hoping that the market continues to appreciate. Now here's the silver lining in that. I do believe the market is gonna appreciate, give or take 10%. It may not go up, 18, 20, 22% as some records show that it did in 2021, but I do believe you're gonna experience that appreciation. I think it tops out around 10% in 2022, but here's the reality is people likely will need to be buying at a higher price than they would like. That goes back to the lender. You wanna make sure that your lender has a good interest rate, has nominal fees. When I bought my home in 2021 here in Miami, I really did my research and got quite literally what I believe the best option I possibly could. My interest rate actually isn't the lowest of lows, and I actually find that to be okay because the way that I structured this purchase, I rather save the money in fees and costs and have a little higher interest rate, because over time I'm actually gonna refi out of this and I'm gonna buy another home. So all that equity that I'm getting is gonna be okay with me, so the interest rate isn't actually as important for me personally. And lastly, a trend I'm actually seeing right now is I'm talking to a lot of people that quite literally are still renting their home, the home they live in, but they're actually buying investment properties. And this is a trend that I'm seeing more and more, especially obviously in the investment Airbnb model. But I'm talking to a lot of people that are saying, hey, I would actually rather my money make me money than own my home, because the home I could buy, I would A, be overpaying, and B, I actually don't love it right now. There's not the home that I want that is kind of my dream home, if you will. And so I'm seeing more and more people actually buying second and third homes as rental properties, And even more so, even in the Airbnb space, they're actually taking their money and saying, I would rather buy an investment that's gonna make me money back and very substantial with an Airbnb. And because of COVID, most individuals are now saying, well, I don't have to go into work. I'm not landlocked to a specific area because where my office is, I can work from everywhere or anywhere. And so why not go work on the beach in Miami or on the beach in Hawaii or wherever that they so choose. And they're actually taking their money and buying investment properties. Now, with that said, people are actually having to put more down when you're buying an investment property. You're definitely anywhere from 20 to 30% versus your primary residence. But I'm seeing a trend that more people are leaning that way than they are forcing themselves to buy a primary residence. Now, my own thought process and philosophy on that is I actually really like that. I myself actually was not a massive advocate of buying my own personal home. I take a little bit more of a Grant Cardone type of approach to this. I actually don't necessarily believe your personal home is an asset. And I can tell you firsthand, I bought this home and within 1 week, I had to go spend $20,000 on a roof that passed inspection, but my insurance said they will not continue my insurance unless I fix a couple of these things. So my lender was able to lend, it passed inspection, but my insurance basically said, we're not willing to keep your insurance long-term if you don't fix this. So out of the gate, I bought a home and then spent $20,000 on half of my roof to fix it. So I would tell you immediately it is a liability, not necessarily an asset. So I actually like when people are looking this way because I actually think as an investor, most of you know I'm a full-time investor. This is what I do all day, every day, 14 years in the game. I'm buying rentals, I'm wholesaling, I'm flipping. And so when people think like this, it actually gets me excited because they're thinking about having their money make money. They're not just buying a home because that's what their grandfather or father told them to do. Now, what does that mean? Now, this concept, this trend that I'm seeing is also helping limit the amount of inventory that's on the market. So if you go back to the first trend I'm talking about the fact that the market's gonna appreciate, there's nothing available, the builders can't put out enough product to supply inventory, it's a supply and demand issue. The rates are going up, however, income is going up, so it shouldn't play as big of effect as people are saying. That all circling back, now you have people buying rental properties that would be more of a first-time home usually for first-time home buyers, or they're buying rental properties in Airbnb style where someone like me might buy that as their own personal home. Well, now people are going in as an investment in buying that property where I might have bought that as a personal home because that's the type of home I actually want. So the combination of all this is to say that the home prices are going to continue to appreciate. There's going to continue to be low supply, high demand. The interest rates will probably even out somewhere in the mid threes, which by the way, historically is still incredibly low. And all in all, people need a place to live. And if rents are going up, I think the market's just going to be just fine in 2022. So these are a couple trends that I've been noticing, that I've been seeing and watching. I'm a part of many masterminds and very networked within the real estate space. And so I'm seeing it. This is happening real time. And lastly, give this video a like. Give me some love here on YouTube. Make sure you subscribe. Later.